Hello everyone, this is me, Ollie again, DOP filmmaker from Brighton. We're going to look at another sort of tutorial today, looking a little bit at exposure and look a little bit at lighting as well. So we're going to jump into it now. So first things first, with this sort of setup, we have me sort of placed there by the window. As you can see from the image, the back of it is completely blown out, so obviously it's looking very bright, very washed out, not looking really professional at all. This is a mistake that quite a lot of people make when they're shooting towards like a window or a sort of a window in frame where the window's blown out. Obviously I'm exposed like sort of okay, like you can see me. I'm obviously a victim of making this mistake. Sort of one of my first short films. I didn't have any sort of lighting, and to be honest, if I'm really honest, I didn't really know what I was doing when it was coming to like exposure. As you can see here, the windows are completely blown out. It's much worse than my example that I've given. No detail, no nothing. So now I'm going to show you how to properly expose the image for this window scene. You want to expose your image to the outside. Do that by using an ND filter, or you can use it by closing the aperture a little bit, whatever way you want to do it. If you don't have an ND, then you can just use it by closing the aperture. Obviously, if you do have an ND filter, it makes things a lot easier because then you can still have your shallow depth of field. You don't need to change any of your settings or anything like that. Now we've got that, it's looking, pretty nice. You can see that now the background is very clear, but obviously now I am not clear at all. It's also like a silhouette. Obviously that works if you're trying to go for that sort of look, but if you're not and you want to be exposed as well, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to use a lighting technique sort of invented by Roger Deakins called the Cove. It's very simple actually, and it really makes a nice soft look around the face. What you're going to need for this setup is 2 C-stands, 2 spotlights, sheet of unbleached muslin, 2 light stands and some clips, and that's all it is. So as you can see here now, I'm setting up the Cove technique, putting the sheet over, clipping it on, making that sort of curve, and then shining the lights directly into it. So now we're going to go back to our example. Now we've got our light set up. So we're going to bounce our first light, and this is how it looks. So as you can see, it's looking a little bit more controlled. Definitely see my face now, which is great. It's still a little bit of shadows though on the other side of my face there. It still doesn't look as natural as we could. So what we're going to do, we're just going to bounce the last light. And that's the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. Like I say, hope you learned something from that. Like I say, really simple lighting setup that you can definitely do at home to make that image look much more controlled, much more natural, and much more cinematic. I'll see you on the next one.